Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Love. Here with your AEW Dynamite review for January 25th, 2023 edition. Last week, very, very important what happened with Jay Briscoe and the timing, just really what happened last week. I think we were all kind of, a bit out of it when we watched AEW Dynamite, and we were hoping to get something more of a tribute to honor Jay Briscoe. But thankfully, this week, we were able to get more of a actual tribute, and what we got was very good. We got an emotional Jay Briscoe video of him with his family, and then Mark Briscoe. That was really the kicker. Mark Briscoe, his brother, making his AEW debut in the main event versus Jay Lethal. And Jay Lethal, barely holding it together. Just seeing him cry. As expected. Just him pulling it together somewhat, and especially his brother, with how everything went, and the roster getting on stage to pay their respects and congratulate on Mark. That was a very good ending, very good, and well deserved. But nonetheless, and I also watched a bit of the Life in Celebration tribute show for Jay Briscoe, which is apparently uploaded now on the Ring of Honor YouTube channel. So, yeah, definitely hearing some top wrestlers in the world who have faced Jay Briscoe and known him for so many years. Hearing their stories, very moving, very moving. But also, I'm here as well to go over all of AEW Dynamite, which I will in a sec. But thank you all. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more pro wrestling reviews like this, you can follow me on a Joe Love subscription as well. I'm going to say at the Dynamite was a very good show. Very good. And a sigh of relief, a very rewarding show. What we're given. So let's get into it. So, AEW Dynamite had a solid open between Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Andretti and Ricky Starks. Again, going along with this storyline between the two sides. I did enjoy the offense exchange between Sammy Guevara and Andretti. It did flow well in their styles. You have to admit that Sammy Guevara, credit, he did get a lot of bad heat in the beginning stages when he started making his relationship with Ty Mello or Ty Conti, whichever you want to call her, official. He got bad heat for that. But now these days, with his role and the heat he's been getting now, it's put him in a better place, really, I would say. Because, I mean, he's on the upswing, obviously with his big win over Miro, and then, him getting engaged to Pam, obviously, that really made him into push him in his babyface role, and then obviously the momentum, everything just like a slim dive, and then now he's back in the place we know he's great in, because we know how talented Sammy Guevara is. But yeah, this fun match sub and show. Andretti hit Suicide on the outside, taking out Daniel Garcia. Sammy then got the revenge, hitting a twist and plancha to the outside. Back in the ring, Andretti hit a Spanish fly for a near fall. Great move here, or great counter, I should say. Ricky Starks is going for his version of old school on Jericho, but a little too much showing off by Starks. Sammy Guevara kind of walked the top rope a little bit and then hit a big cutter to Starks off the top rope. Good matchup there, or a good sequence there. Jericho, he walked in a roll up on Starks, but only for two. Starks managed to hit a powerbomb for only for a near fall. Then while they spilled to the outside and Starks hit Rochambeau, taking out Jericho on the outside. Andre hit a torture rack neckbreaker on Guevara for a two. And then Daniel Garcia paid dividends as he hit Andretti in the head with the bat. And then Guevara hit the GTH on Andretti for the win. And the JS numbers game, and they get the one up here. Very good open, very good. Then we got a very good, very emotional video tribute to Jay Briscoe. Just him seeing him with his brother, as a kid to how he is now. Same pictures, videos of him with his daughters. Helping his daughter train for cheerleading. Seeing the great side of Jay as a wrestler. Very good, very good. Seeing him, as a father, and seeing was like outside the ring, and that opened up. Very fun and very emotional as well. Yeah. Next was another fun match. Open challenge for TNT Championship. We got Buddy Matthews versus Darby Allin. As expected, the Demolition Derby is start. Darby was thrown to the barricade a number of times by Buddy. Buddy hit a Miura on the apron, or two Darby on the apron for their fall. Then a sit-up powerbomb in the middle of the ring. Only got a two. Darby fired back. He hit a crucifix bomb for a near fall. Buddy Matthews and homage to his former mentor in WWE, Seth Rollins. Buddy hit a buckle bomb ball with a curb stomp to the back of Darby's head for a near fall. Good little kick out of that. Buddy went for his Murphy's Law or Matthews Law, but Darby almost sold the victory there with roll up for a two. Darby then hit a code red. They were on the top rope. Looked like gearing for a superplex. But Darby, in the way it was executed, hit a Scorpion Death Drop off the top in front of Sting, but only got a near fall. Sting, of course, the master of the Scorpion Death Drop, didn't seem all too pleased with how that sequence unfolded. So, finally, Darby had a coffin drop to the back of Buddy Matthews for the win, and when it seemed like Tony Schiavone was set to interview him, Samoa Joe came on the big screen. Talked about the King, saying that Darby taking the TNT Championship from him was the worst decision he could have done, and Samoa Joe has sights set on a rematch and getting the TNT title back. And it was announced for next week. No holds barred. Darby for Samoa Joe Part 3 for the TNT Championship. Good stuff. Gonna be fun. Adam Cole. He was shown training in the arena before the show started with a bandana. So, bandana Adam Cole back after many years. But at the end, they showed a interesting shot to him looking up at the banner for Revolution, which will take place on March 6th in San Francisco. So, perhaps Adam Cole's return match will take place at Revolution. Question against who? I don't know. But we know Adam Cole versus anyone. It's guaranteed good match. One sec. Get me a drink. That's good. Excuse me. So we got JungleHook aka Jack Perry, and Hook in their second match together faced off against Matt Hardy and Ethan Page. So, still feuding with the Firm. It appears. This was a nice little match here. Majority of the match took place in picture-in-picture. So, I mean, Matt Hardy went for the finish. Went for the twist veil on Jungle Boy. Or Jack Perry. And Page was getting cocky and wanted to take the glory. So he wanted to finish the match. So had Darby Perry tag him in. Went for a twist fate, but was caught into the snare trap and tried to tag in Matt Hardy, but to no avail, and Page tapped out. I mean, JungleHook's looking not bad as a tag team. I mean, look, Christian Cage with his torn tricep, not too sure how much longer it's going to be. But if this is taking up Jack Perry's time in the interim, while Christian Cage looks to get healthy, then by all means, good stuff for both guys. Ethan Page, is great. And, the Firm should deserve more. I mean, Matt Hardy. I love Matt Hardy. He's always been a fan of his since, much younger. But, the purpose for Matt Hardy on TV is not really there as it was a number of years ago. But although I'm still a fan of Matt Hardy, it's in 2023, it's much different. See how he's used on TV. So we got family therapy between the Acclaim and the Guns and Billy Gunn. This was a unique segment. So we had this female therapist, and she was going back and forth like, what is the real issues between both sides? And then so the Guns were frustrated because, they made some valid points talking about how, Billy was much on the road for their childhoods being in WWE and WWF or TNA, JSN. And then talked about how when they were paired together then in AEW, that the Acclaim took their dad from them. So then finally, straight away at the end, Billy was like, what will make you guys happy? What will make the Guns happy? And then Austin just very blatantly pointed at the belts, the tag team titles, and said, those. So, the Acclaimed versus the Guns at Revolution, and Billy betraying the Acclaimed to rejoin his sons. I mean, and give them the tag team titles. That's something I'm for, as the Guns stock is rising, and that would give them a lot of heat. A lot of heat. No matter if their reign is long or a big reign, I don't think it'll. It depends. It depends. I could see them having a big reign, but at the same time, giving a refresher to the Acclaimed and them getting another run or another chase is certainly a possibility. Oops. There we go. So we got Brian Cage versus Bryan Danielson. Another fun match in the Bryan Danielson pretty much going through hoops to get his Iron Man match with MJF at Revolution. Fun match as you expect between these two. Bryan, of course, the underdog, small babyface, going against the Machine, Brian Cage, who, put together some good results lately. This match here, facing Willie Mack a few times last week. 1/3 of the Ring of Honor Trios champions, or 6-man champions in Ring of Honor. Brian Cage is putting together quite a resume, and he is a very good asset for Ring of Honor. So, I would be still somewhat surprised if his contract runs up and he's not back in Ring of Honor. Point blank. But we'll see. So, good stuff here. Brian Cage, of course, targeting the arm. Of course, that was what MJF said. With, I don't care if you win or lose, just break his arm. So, Bryan Danielson was, it's weird with two Bryans, but Danielson was favoring his arm for most of the match. Matches superplex, and then hit the yes kicks for 2. Finished the match. So, Cage hit a bucket bomb, and then hit a power bomb, went for another. But Danielson turned Cage's momentum against him and rolled up Cage for the win, the surprise victory. After MJF strolled down and they continued the beatdown on Bryan Danielson, got a chair, wedged it between Bryan's shoulder, threw it up against the ring post. MJF was about to jump on the wedge chair in between Bryan's shoulder and probably end his, or at least take him out of action for a good amount of time. But Konosuke Takeshita showed up and prevented any more damage to Bryan Danielson. And yeah. Now, I didn't get into it earlier, but getting into now because this was a weird sort of scenario with what happened in this segment compared to earlier. So, in the Blackpool Combat Club now, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Bryan Danielson. So, now, there was a segment earlier between Hangman Page and Renee Paquette backstage where Hangman wanted another match versus Moxley. And sliding in Wheeler Yuta accepted the match on Moxley's behalf and challenged him to a match of his own on Rampage. Okay, so we see Yuta. Moxley's not clear. Didn't see Claudio till the end. But I mean, just watching the beatdown for a while, and we know where Utah's there. We know the Blackpool Combat Club is a thing. So for Wheeler not to show up instead of Konosuke saving Bryan, that was a little bit of a surprise. You'd think. But I don't know. That was a little bit of a weird conundrum. So, then we got Toni Storm versus Ruby Soho. So, originally this was supposed to be a triple threat with Britt Baker. But excuse me. Britt was injured for this match, although she did make an appearance, so she did have an effect on this outcome. So, Toni and a hip tech knocking Soho to the outside. Soho got the advantage. Storm faded, her nose being broken again. Ruby fell for it. Storm hit another hip attack and then hit a tornado DT, but for a near fall. At the end, Britt Baker's music hit. Toni got distracted. Ruby hit Destination Unknown for the win. And yeah, so I mean, the way it seems, although it feels a bit odd, but I mean, it felt odd last week, but starting to make some sense of it. So, Toni Storm and Saraya turned heel, which was a surprise to many. It was just strange. And then Toni Storm in their pre-match interview spoke about the AEW homegrown idiots. So it seems that the AEW homegrown women, like Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, Sheeta, etc., against, the anti-WWE, it seems, with Toni Storm, Saraya, maybe Serena Deeb can get back healthy. Maybe we see Mercedes. actually debut around this time. I mean, certainly a thought, but making some sense of this whole weird thing that happened last week or 2 weeks ago between the women. Then we got the main events, and honestly, I wasn't too sure with taking notes for this match. Just because, I mean, you know, this was just like an emotional tribute. You know, Mark Briscoe, you know, just coming out there on his brother's birthday and wrestling Jay Lethal. I mean, what can you say about the resolve of Mark? You know, just a week after, or a week and a day after it happened, what Mark could say. But nonetheless, fun match, back and forth. Mark hit the froggy bolt, top rope elbow, on to Jay through the announce table on the outside. Great spot there. Mark tried to go for the Jay Driller numerous times. Jay Briscoe was finished, but was able to lock on. Lethal hit the lethal injection, but Mark rolled to the outside. Finally, after 2 lariats, Mark finally was able to lock in the Jay Driller. 1, 2, 3. And Mark Briscoe gets a victory in sweet fashion, bittersweet fashion. Now it's over Jay Lethal. You know, regardless, regardless how you feel about the Briscoes not being able to be on TV together, last year, because there was report that Tony Khan tried many times to get the Briscoes on AEW television. Regardless, this was a great moment for Mark to be out there and give his all. A great match, and for the honor of his brother. And then in the AEW locker room, all were out there. The producers, Tony Khan, Samoa Joe. Mark gave, a hug to Tony. Gave a hug to Roosh. Seeing Hangman tear up, the Bucks tear up. Just all the whole impact that Jay Briscoe had on the wrestling community. He won't be forgotten. And just seeing what happened on Wednesday, certainly a sigh of relief and really great joy to see. But yeah, that was Dynamite for you guys. Um, um, Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, help out the video, help out the channel. But yeah, it was a very good, much more appropriate tribute show on Dynamite than it was. But yeah, overall a very good show nonetheless. And yeah, but yeah, thank you all. See you guys next week. Like, subscribe, comment if you have any suggestions about the channel. But thank you all. Be safe. I made Joe Turn Love. I'm out. Peace.